controlling the broadcast.
For the next hour we will control all that you hear.
You are about to experience the knowledge and insights of the media mothership.
Welcome. Welcome to Media Mothership. Broadcasting out of Edge Radio Studios here in Nipaluna, Hobart, Tasmania. And on Media Mothership, we explore how media can shape our understanding of the world around us. I'm your host, Dr. Craig Ford, PhD, joined by, we'll go with Lord. I'm trying to think, what was the one where you got ordained minister?
Yeah.
Ordained minister Taylor.
Yeah, Father
Taylor.
Yeah.
And of course, as always, we're streaming on edgeradio.org.au, as well as YouTube and Twitch. You can find us just by searching Media Mothership. We're also, of course, streaming out or playing out on the digital DAB network. You can message us on the chat at YouTube or Twitch, or SMS us on 0488811707. Today's topic, we're going to look at some unusual news around media, and then we're going to dive into video games which only use audio to play them through. So all that and more on Media Mothership Edge Radio 99.3. First story is on Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, this was reported in Kotaku. So Final Fantasy, of course, well-known video game series set in a fantasy.
The final one.
Yes, it's not, well, given we're up to number 14, it's a little misleading in terms of the Final Fantasy wasn't the last one, obviously. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that must be a joke that all the Final Fantasy guys... Like, really?
Do you know how it came up with that name?
No, tell me.
Well, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's what I read in a magazine about 20 years ago. It was that it was Square, so the gaming company was called Square.
Yep.
And they were basically failing, and they said, we're going to make one Final Fantasy and see if it works. And it worked.
Really? So they did pitch it as, this is potentially the last piece of work that might occur
before
in this
the company goes under. Yeah.
And, again, it became prophetic, I guess, in a way that this Final Fantasy series was enormously successful. So we're up to number 14, Dawntrails.
So that's the expansion pack of it. So Final Fantasy XIV is the online version of the game, and it's had 6 or 7 expansions over time, and this is the newest one that's come out. So it will have a new area, new items, new characters.
The reason this leapt out at me was that the reasonably well-known actor Rhys Darby is appearing in the advertising around it. Now, Rhys Darby... you might remember from
Flight of the Conchords.
Oh yeah, Flight of the Conchord, where he plays the New Zealand cultural ambassador or something in the States.
Or if you're not familiar with New Zealand comedy, then probably people would know him from Jumanji.
That's right. Yeah. Which one is it that he's in? Not the Robin Williams original.
No.
Jumanji,
just
right?
the new versions, as sort of like the startup guy.
Yeah. When you go into that Jumanji online game world, he pops in as the
NPC.
Host NPC, yeah. He's also in Our Flag Means Death. I've seen a few episodes of that, the pirate one with Blackbeard. So that jumped out at me because what they've set up here is a fake tourism website. I'm always interested in tourism and media where people, will travel to a real location. In fact, last week's episode was with Wendy and Nick from Edge Radio's Mental Connections and their own journeys to like Disneyland theme parks, as well as Cardiff to see Doctor Who set tour. And they brought in their photo album of that. So it's well worth checking out.
What, their photo album?
Well, we did put it on the camera a little bit, so do check that out on YouTube. In this case, though, it's the other way around, where you can't go to this world, the Final Fantasy world that this is depicting, but they've set it up as if it is a tourist location you can come visit. So it's as you're saying, this is the download. So this is launching today, June 28th. Oh, wow. Warriors of Light, at least for those who've pre-ordered.
So all of the people who are diehard fans and would want to know this information aren't listening to this program because they're already playing it.
Potentially they took the day off work and they're exploring now the new world of Dawntrail in Final Fantasy XIV's latest expansion. So Dawntrail is set to be what they're saying is a summer vacation journey for players, which would be great from the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely the summer vacation. Which is a sort of reward after completing a decades-long story with Endwalker. Do you know anything about a decades-long story with Endwalker?
I mean, I've played it, but I haven't played it all the way through, or even played it much.
And Endwalker was one of the Final Fantasy things, potentially. So in anticipation of what Dawntrail has to offer from today on, Square Enix has given the tropical locale its own tourism website featuring actor Rhys Darby. So we're going to play a short clip of it as Darby is performing in character as a kind of helpful guide, letting players know what they can expect in this world. And he's playing the role of this interim deputy director of Turalism.
Okay.
Right, so set in Tural and Turalism is the poor joke they've delivered there. All right, so let's listen. Now, I'm curious to see how it lands. It's just got the loading window.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I'm confident.
Okay. We're still going. Save more with everyday rewards.
Here we go. Oh, it's very laggy. Could be because I've got a little too many programs open on this laptop. Yeah, pretty good.
We can just listen to 3-second bites.
Oh dear.
Well, that's a bust.
Why is it so poorly? Oh, let me see.
Greetings. As my first act.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. See, I try to choose.
As interim deputy director of Turalism, I'd like to welcome you to.
Yeah. Okay. I try to choose clips which are going to have some nice audio to play. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's my downfall, right?
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, okay. So cute little idea there in terms of rolling out a tourism campaign, providing information. At least, I mean, there's a couple of things circulating around media and tourism. There's the fact that Steve Irwin's family, mm-hmm. So obviously not Steve Irwin, but the wife and kids were down in Tasmania, mm-hmm. and it got reported in the US as their visit to Tanzania.
Yes, I saw that one, yeah.
And so that unleashed all this memes about, like it was one that the Batuta Advocate, I think, did of the Tasmanian ambulances spotted in Tanzania providing mm-hmm. service. So it's important to get tourism right. Locations of the world, even when it falls over dead. So, all right. So the next article that I found that was quite interesting, I'll just do that little audio cue, was for those that were listening into the show before we started, you would have heard Natalie Portman's Saturday Night Live rap. This was a rap where she kind of lampooned her position as a kind of good girl. At that mm-hmm. point, I think in her career, she'd just done the Star Wars movies as Princess Padme or Queen Padme. And this rap she did on Saturday Night Live was very much kind of turning the tables on that portrayal of her. You know, in fact, it's been referred to as a mind-bogglingly graphically filthy hip-hop track that she performs, where she drops innumerable F-bombs and she threatens to slit the throat of poor Nitrous and pour Nitrous down the hole. So it's a wonderful way of her to lampoon this idea of the good girl that sheds that image and embraces a bad girl character. What's fascinating is this was reported in Cracked.com. The lyrics of Natalie Portman's SNL rap were cited as fact in a newspaper article about her. This was in the Daily Mail, the UK Daily Mail, and they were reporting on it as a real fact. What's interesting as I was looking into it, because it got picked up through X, people started posting that clearly the Daily Mail have no idea what they're reporting on here, and their alleged kind of hard-hitting investigation of surprising celebrities who still smoke cigarettes, through which they mention Natalie Portman as a celebrity that does this. But their evidence was based on the song lyrics from the Saturday Night Live sketch.
Yeah.
But they mentioned the fact that, in the song, they didn't mention his lyrics. They just say Portman was big into weed and cocaine while she was at college, right? Which was just part of a satirical performance she was delivering. And their evidence to, again, support their article was that she made a statement, forgetting that it was actually a song lyric, where she says, "I smoked weed every day, I cheated every test, and snorted all the white yay." So, anyway, it's really interesting. So they're pulling this apart, but then people began to suspect that this article has probably been AI generated.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but a lot of people, after they started satirizing how badly the Daily Mail had screwed up their reporting on this as fact when it was complete fiction. They felt that presumably this was probably generated from an AI, because all of their statements were clearly based on evidence, right? In terms of there were lyrics in this song, but any human that did a Google search found this alleged evidence would also realize it's a song lyric. So they're suspecting that surely no human would be able to do this badly. That it must be an AI who, as they argue in this article, yanked the initial statement from the Observer piece, because they said there is a 2011 profile of Portman in the Observer, which featured the fact that she did this rap song and the lyrics, but again, describing it as satire. So the AI probably landed on that Observer piece, treated it as straightforward news, didn't contextualize it as a song, and then reported it as real. And then no one at the Daily Mail checked it. It's interesting though that initial laughter at Daily Mail for not knowing it's a satirical song, and then the kick in around, I wonder if this has just been even lazier than that, whether it's just been an AI generated article which they've polished to a minimal degree, and they've been busted potentially for that as well. So interesting. I mean, interesting in terms of the critique of journalism today, that not only is a paper here being critiqued for not fact-checking, but also potentially for making such an outrageously bad lack of fact-checking that the only other site it could possibly have come from was an article which contextualized it as satirical music, but an AI probably would have missed that fact.
It seems AI generated to me, looking at how it's written.
So to move on to the next piece. The next article I want to talk about it shows how important